Right now, getting high is easy. A drink after a long day, something stronger on the weekend. It's everywhere. It's cheap, and it's waiting for you whenever you want it. Now go back 20,000 years. Same human brain, same craving for that warm, floating, switched-off feeling, and almost no way on earth to reach it. So here's the question. If you were dropped into the Stone Age, same you, same body, how would you actually get high? The answer is stranger than you'd think. Because the thing standing between you and that feeling wasn't a lack of willpower. It was that the entire world around you was sober. And changing that, even for a single night, was one of the hardest, rarest, and most sacred things a human being could do. And make no mistake, they wanted it. The urge to change how your own mind feels isn't some modern weakness. It runs so deep that it isn't even only human. Wild animals chase it too. Birds gorging on fermented berries until they can't fly straight. Big cats rolling in plants that leave them dazed and drooling. Even dolphins passing things between them just to feel a little different. The craving you feel on a Friday night is millions of years old. Your ancestors felt every bit of it. They just couldn't satisfy it the way you can. So, let's start with the obvious idea. The one you're already thinking. Mushrooms. Surely you think ancient humans were wandering through the forest, eating whatever grew, and sooner or later somebody bit into the wrong mushroom and saw the face of God. It's a great story. There's even a famous version of it, the stoned ape theory, which claims that psychedelic mushrooms sparked human consciousness itself. Here's the problem. There's almost no hard evidence for any of it. We do have one remarkable find. In 2015, researchers from the Max Planck Institute examined the teeth of a woman who lived 18,700 years ago, buried in El Miran cave in northern Spain. Locked inside the hardened plaque on her teeth were microscopic fragments of mushroom. Real, direct proof that Stone Age people ate fungi. But here's the catch. The mushroom wasn't psychedelic. It was a bolete, an ordinary, edible mushroom, the kind you'd fry in a pan, not the kind that rewrites your reality. And that's the pattern everywhere you look. We find solid evidence that ancient people ate mushrooms for food. We almost never find proof they ate them to get high. The psychedelic story is mostly just that, a story we tell ourselves about the past. And there's a brutal reason it stayed that way. Eating random mushrooms is one of the fastest ways to die that nature has ever invented. For every mushroom that gently lifts your mind, there's another that shuts down your liver over 3 days of agony. And out in the wild, they can look almost identical, without thousands of years of carefully guarded knowledge about which is which. Let's see what this one does. Isn't a fun afternoon. It's a coin flip with your life. So picture it. You, dropped into the Stone Age, marching into the forest, determined to get high. No guide, no elder, no idea what you're looking at. The truth is, you'd almost certainly poison yourself long before you found anything that actually worked. Pick wrong, and you don't get a vision. You get a grave. So if you couldn't just graze your way to enlightenment, what could you actually do? The answer is the oldest proven mind-altering substance humanity has ever found. And it isn't a drug, it's a drink. In 2018, archaeologist Li Lu and her team at Stanford were studying stone mortars in Reykjavik Cave in what's now Israel. Carved into the rock were the residues of something astonishing: beer, 13,000 years old, the oldest evidence of alcohol that humans have ever discovered. And think about when this is. These people, the Natufians, were brewing beer thousands of years before farming even existed. Let that sink in. We always assumed humans settled down to grow grain for bread. But some scientists now argue it may have been the other way around, that we settled down and started farming because we wanted the beer. But before you picture a Stone Age party, stop. Because this beer was nothing like yours. It wasn't poured for fun on a Friday night. The mortars were found inside a burial cave, a place for the dead. The beer itself was thick, closer to a gruel than a drink, and very weak. And it wasn't casual. It was ceremonial, brewed for ritual feasts to honor the people who had died. And this is the exact moment the whole question flips. Because I've been letting you assume something this entire time, that getting high back then was like getting high now. A personal escape, something you do at the end of the day to switch yourself off. But that idea would have made no sense to them at all. For almost all of human history, altering your mind wasn't recreation. It was religion. The rare, hard-won substances that could change how a person felt were never wasted on an ordinary afternoon. They were saved for the biggest moments a community had. Births, deaths, coming of age, the night the group tried to reach the spirit world. Getting intoxicated wasn't running away from reality. It was believed to be a doorway into a deeper one. And it almost never happened alone. It happened together, around a fire, guided by a shaman or an elder who knew exactly what they were doing. Not a quiet high by yourself in the dark, a sacred act, witnessed by your entire world. The stronger substances, the things we'd actually call drugs today, came later still and were guarded even more carefully. Opium, from the poppy. The first solid traces appear in the late Stone Age and the Bronze Age, grown deliberately in gardens, not stumbled upon in the wild. Betel nut, chewed until it stained the teeth deep red, in people who lived around 5,000 years ago. By the Bronze Age, people on the island of Minorca were using several mind-altering plants at once, and we only know because the chemicals are still locked inside their preserved hair thousands of years later. But notice the pattern. The stronger the substance, the later it appears. None of it was easy. None of it was casual. Every single one took generations of knowledge to find it, to grow it, to prepare it, and to survive it. So, how would you get high in the Stone Age? If you were truly born into that world, the honest answer is simple. You'd wait. You'd wait for the festival, for the funeral, for the one night the whole group gathered, and the keeper of the knowledge brought out something rare and powerful, and you took it together, as one, reaching for something far bigger than yourselves. And the modern you, the one who can buy a feeling on the way home from work, any day, alone, for a handful of coins? That version of getting high would have been almost unthinkable, not because they were purer than you, but because the thing itself was simply too rare, too dangerous, and too sacred to ever waste on nothing. Here's the strange truth you're left with. You think of intoxication as an escape, a way out of your life. They thought of it as an entrance, a way into the mystery at the very center of theirs. The substances barely changed. Beer is still beer, but the meaning did. We took the rarest, most sacred experience our ancestors had, the one they saved for their gods and their dead, and we turned it into a Tuesday. You could get high tonight if you wanted to. They would have given almost anything for that kind of power. They just never would have understood why you'd spend it on nothing at all.